Okay, y'all. My phone, my computer, my camera cut off. I, by the way, am loving this candle. This is a White Barn candle from Bath and Body Works called Pink Prosecco. Is that how you say it? Prosecco? And I am loving that scent, y'all. It's so nice and light. It's perfect for spring, but I'm sure they got all kind of new scents. Okay, so where we were, as I was rounding this out, and the reason that I sometimes will use, I'm going to the nose bone, and underneath, not the tip in, you want that to stay white. But the reason I sometimes will use a foundation brush to kind of blend this back out is because I need to dissipate out the color because there's a line. And again, we're just going across the chin from this jowl to this jowl. And it's going to darken so that you get a shadow. And then I go to that jowl underneath, that jowl, and then straight up and down. Blend it straight up, give myself a line right there, and then down. So when you blend down, you get rid of the line. So that's it. That's kind of the look. And we got a face done. Now I'm going to use this Fame palette that we got the other day from ColourPop. Y'all have seen me use some of these lighter tones, and you've seen me use some of these kind of mauve-y tones. I'm going to kind of use some of these more sandy tones because of what I'm wearing today. The first thing I want to do is use this Dazzle, and I'm going to use this right on the lid. This is a shiny champagne color, and I'm going to use that right on the lid, the inner lid to the middle, and then just a little bit in the tear duct. I'm not going to use the white. I'm going to use that same champagne color. I'm going to come up just a little bit to the crease. Normally I would do this last. I'm just in the mood to do it now. So there's no real reason. Matter of fact, I probably did this out of order. Why does it matter? Because as I blend this up into the crease, I'm going to be putting in a crease color that's going to get rid of it. Okay. So I like that. Now what crease color would I choose? Normally I would choose more of a brown. And I will need a transition color, but I'm going to use a lighter transition color. So first, let's just start from the top of the eye down. That's the way I like to do it. And we are going to use a little bit of this Center Stage, which is kind of a yellow base, and this Delirium. There's a weird one. Why? Under the brow. And this is all matte. I'm going to go right past the brow. A little bit of both of those two colors. And go right past the brow, but just make sure I got in those pores real good so that color stays. You can also then go right next to that, flip this over to Extravaganza, which is frosted, and do just not the inner, but just this outer area a little bit. And that's going to give you a little bit of highlight shine. You can also put it in the tip of your nose and your Cupid's bow. And if you want, we'll go ahead and do this. Put it right on the inner corner. Okay, so that just really wakes the eye up. So that's what that's for. I'm going to clean that brush. All the brushes are going to be cleaned. Alright, so next we are going to use Razzle. Why? Because I haven't used it yet as a transition color. So tap that off real good. And go right under the brow where we just were. Right under the front of the brow, and then up from the crease to the outer area. Right under that frosted lighter highlighted area. Okay, and all this is just a transition color to what we're going to put in the crease. So it usually should be a little lighter and in the same hue family, you know, the same tone and hue as whatever you're going to use in the crease. So that's why I look and kind of try to decide what am I going to use. Okay, and then this is that was the E50 Large Fluffy. And this is the E45. There's another little fuzz. I feel like something like a towel or something got on these. Tapered blending brush. And so because it's tapered, you roll it in the pan. And I think the color I'm going to go with, I want to try to do something I haven't used before. And typically I stay very matte. So I can't really tell if we've done Clubhouse yet. But I'm trying to stay a little sandier. And that's cool toned. Yeah, we haven't used Stardom. So we'll use that. So you see what I'm doing? Rolling it just like you would a paintbrush. because this is, after all, artwork, right? Now, you see as I've rolled it, I've gotten all the tip in, but you need to tip that off for sure. Place it down in the outer area because that's where the most is going to be. See how it's naturally darker right out there because you put the most down. And then just look up, and that makes your skin grab it. So skin just grabs that. Oops, it went up a little, but that's okay. And then I roll it, like turn it with my finger and go out to in. And I'm making that V. See the V? There and there. There. All that does is give a little bit darker color. That's a little bit darker than that. That's why they're in the same hue. Really, a lot of these are. Even though some are warm and some are cold, they're still, they blend well with each other. By the way, that's one of the things that I really love about, remember I'm looking up, so that the skin just naturally is grabbing this brush because I'm kind of making it where that it's tighter. And going out, in, roll it out, in, and making that little V. There. Always do a little extra right there because that skin does not take color so well because of my scar. Then I'm going to use that same, whatever color that you use in your outer V to and your crease to kind of get deeper and defined, use that same color for both your brow and under your lashes. With your smudge brush, this is an E20 short shader, which is a smudger brush. That's what a short shader is. And so I'm just going to use where I stirred up all that powder, just going to use that. Tap it off real good because why? Because you're going underneath it. It's just going to get all over under here. Already, oh, wait a minute before I do anything. One of the things that I have learned to do if you're going to use concealer, it does make a lot of sense. I know you can't believe I'm going to say this. To use, if it's a good one, and I do think that IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder is good to put on underneath, because if you don't, this is a translucent powder. It won't look like it at first. If you don't, then any powder that falls on that is going to get in this concealer and set in the concealer. So this makes it nice and powdery, dry, frankly. The only thing is, to me, sometimes it makes under the eye look dry. But at least it sets it. So that if I drop, really I should have done this before I did any of this. And the reason I think that it's a sponge applicator is because it really is like going over a pothole. You're putting something in it and pressing it down so that you can't see the pores anymore. And that can be a good thing, especially wherever you sweat. Okay, so we set that area. And again, that is Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder. It's an airbrush silk pressed anti-aging finishing powder. It makes your pores disappear. It also fills them up so that if you have a dark color you're going in with, remember, tap it off. It won't get down in there where you just were. So get under it and look up. And I just go straight through, not under, straight through the lashes. And what I'm doing is building that lash line. And I'm also doing it on the upper lash, even though I'm going to come behind this with a liner. Just make sure that you're filling it in with color so it's not light colored. Then I do like to use powder, as y'all know. As long as it's the right color, you can use it through my brows instead of a crayon wax pencil that tends to take hairs out. This does have a bit of a purple hue, but that's okay. It's not that bad. Just going to go very carefully light when I get to the center of the face with it. Just make sure my arch is up there. There. That's enough of a tail. It doesn't have to be a perfect little tail every time. I feel like you can definitely tell a difference in the two, but it's not too much. Okay. Going underneath again. Straight through the lashes. Not under the lashes, straight through them. And what that does is it does deposit some underneath the lashes. And again, I'm going underneath and straight through. And we are going up, down, just like if we had a liner product that was a crayon. And we're going through this back area just to kind of build it. And just get it through the hairs so that the color is the same throughout the little hairs. This one's always a little lower. I always have to come back and build it back up. I don't want to overdo it. I think that looks okay. Again, it's really hard to tell when you're in these lights because they're so bright. If this is too hard, looking at yourself from a mirror far away or a camera monitor, it's kind of like, did I get it all? I don't know. So what y'all see, you may go, oh, bless her heart. Just know that later on I figure it out. All right, then what do we want to do with a clean brush? Clean. Or if you want to make sure that you're blending, you can use one of these highlighter colors. We could use Delirium if just barely push it in there like that and tap it off. You want to go in front and make sure there's no line there on either side of the nose. And then, of course, right there. And then, of course, right here on the edge. Do that same thing again. Right here. Either side of the nose. Right there. And then here. And all that does is it got rid of lines. Just real obvious lines. I really do like this palette, y'all. It's really a great palette. It's a lot of great colors. And again, this is the Fame palette from ColourPop. And I think it's got a bunch of good looks that you could get from it. If y'all remember, I thought, but then this MAC Kabuki doll is just like almost identical, but it's not. These are much warmer colors. There's more warm bronze peachy tones to this one. They're completely different from each other. There's a little bit of crossover in some of the neutral, these maybe, but other than that, I think you could get either one or both of these palettes and you won't be doubling up. Okay, so now we have blended everything out and we put all these brushes. One of the other brushes that I do like to have is the small Duofiber. This is the F55. There's a large one and a small one. I like the small one. And because it's dense on the bottom and light on the top that kind of holds it up, it makes it to where it really grabs hold of things with the little tip ends. Again, more of those little fibers. I don't know what's going on. And you can just flick off any little crumbs that fell underneath the eyes or the side of the nose. Because sometimes you'll look in the mirror and go, oh, look at all those little flecks of powder. Well, that's from when you were doing